Well, hey guys, today we're going to talk about tackle organization. And I know for some of you, at least some of the guys I've fished with in the past, it's not even something that they worry about. So for some of you, it's a no-brainer. You're just a natural at it. And for some of us, it's kind of a constant struggle. For me, I'm constantly trying to figure out the next level of organization in my boat. Not only to keep the boat clean, but also to make me more efficient on the water. And for the last few years, I've settled in on separate plastic boxes, as you can see in front of me, keeping my plastics in their original packaging and using a label maker. And it seems to work pretty well, but the next step for me was to consolidate further with the goal of carrying less tackle in my boat. And again, the less tackle I have, the more efficient I'm going to be on the water. So let's take a look at some of the boxes and the consolidation that I've been working on this winter in preparation for this coming season. So guys, one thing I like to do with my boxes in the boat, especially if you've got boxes that are opaque or they're hard to see, and a lot of times everybody stores them in the box like this, so it's really hard to see in them anyhow. So what I did is I bought this Dymo label maker, and it's just a cool little deal. It's got simple label material that you put in the back, and you can just, it's got the keys on the front, and you can just simply make labels with it, and they really hold up well. And I'll go ahead and make one quick for this. This is a top water box, and what I do, you just simply type in what you want to label the box with. So I'm just going to call this top water. It's good enough for now. You hit print, and it just spits the label out the side. It's pretty cool. So what I do, and then it's got a little scissors built into it, so you just push that down, cuts it off, and I make two labels. So I just peel that off. I put one on the top of the box right here, right on the top, and then I take the other one, because I'm not sure how I'm gonna stow it in the boat. Could be laying down flat like this, could be on its end. And then where I put the other one is on right below the latch right here. And I just pop that on there, so if it's in the box this way or it's in this way, I can read that label either way. So just a great tip. I think these are 35 bucks or something, and the cartridges are $5 or $6 for those. So as we go through the different boxes that I use and that I'm using, you'll see that I have them all labeled. So for the longest time, I used a lot of these 3600 size boxes. I think that's what they are. And I carried almost everything in a 3600 box. It was kind of this size of a box. I still use them, but I've really gotten away from them because what ended up happening, and I had so many of these boxes in my boat, it started to get to the point, even with them labeled, that I couldn't find stuff quickly. So I've really gotten away from the 3600 size box, except for some specialty things. I still use those, and I keep them on the shelf, and when I think I'm going to be in a situation where I'm going to use that particular bait, then I can grab them. They're nice small boxes, and they don't take up a lot of extra room in the boat, so they are handy that way. Situational stuff I still leave in the 3600 box, but I don't carry them in the boat all the time. So we'll link some of this stuff down in the bottom, because there are a few boxes in here that I really like. This is one that Plano makes, and you're going to see too that I'm not totally brand specific on stuff. I just look for the box, and if I like the style of it, that's what I get. And this happens to be a Plano 3707 is the number on this. And what I really like about these is there's no dividers in them. They're just flat open boxes, and I can keep all my soft plastics in these in the package. And I know I've said this multiple times on other videos, but just a quick reminder, leave your Z-Max Z-Man product in the original packaging, because that plastic will wreak havoc with other plastics. So that 3707 is a really nice box that I like to use. This one I have my Drop Shot product in, and I use another one for some Ned Rig plastics as well. You can probably tell from the table that I do really like these Flambeau boxes. They're Max Z Rust. They have the new ones now are Max Z Rust, and they're smoked like this, which I really don't have a preference one way or the other. And then their other Z-Max box is just a regular, and it's a clear box. It is kind of nice to see the clear when you can see the baits through the box. But again, I'm not too picky on that. But I've really come to like this size box, and again, we'll put a link in this. You can see it's deeper. And what I've done this year is I've decided, instead of having a whole bunch of those little 3600 size boxes for each of the different style of crankbaits, is like this particular box. I have all my basically 6-foot crankbaits in it, and then my Timber Tigers, and that's kind of a specialty crankbait that I like to throw up here. I really am starting to like this size box, and again, we'll put a link down there. That one, like I said, has got my 6-foot cranks in it. This one, same size box. It's just the max. It's the smoked. This one I put all my square bills in it. So now instead of having, let's say, 3 or 4 of that smaller 3600 size box, I've got one square bill crankbait box. So again, keeps me efficient on the water. And I've got one that I'm starting, that I've started with just some of my favorite topwater baits. So I've got that that set up with some topwaters. And again, this was probably at least 2 of the smaller boxes, and it's consolidated into one box now. So again, can't say it enough. This is just a really cool size box and some good dividers that come with it. This is a 3700 size box, and you can see it's just the standard depth. It's not real deep like the other ones. It's the same size, so they stack on top of each other. They're really nice, but it's not as deep. And what I'm using this box for is starting to keep my jerk baits in here. And again, if you looked at my tackle cleanup, I cleaned up a lot of my jerk baits, but this is my jerk bait box going forward. And because they're long and narrow, I didn't feel like I needed that real deep box. So again, it's got the same footprint, it's just not as deep. So I think it's perfect for jerk baits. You know, the other thing that you can do for tackle, and there's certain things that I still keep it in, you can go to like Target or Walmart and buy these food grade containers, and they work great. I mean, this particular one, it even has a gasket around the top of it, and it's got the snaps on all 4 sides. And I keep all my hollow body frogs in there, and that works for me. For my frogs, it works great, especially since they don't get snagged up. I mean, you can just reach in there and grab one and go with it. So I mean, this works awesome for me. And this container was probably less than $1. So all right, one other size that I like to use, this is kind of it's a small box, and it doesn't have a lot of dividers in it, but there's a few special things I like to do with it. This particular one, I think it's like a 3012 box by Flambeau, but again, it's in their Z-Max with the latches. And this small box, I just have set up with a few of my spy baits in it. It's a good size box for smaller baits, and I don't carry a ton of spy baits, so it works out good with that. And again, this is just kind of a situational box. So I wanted to show you the smaller box. So that's a small one that I like to use too for like my spy baits. This I'm still kind of experimenting with. You can see this one says tungsten and special hooks on it, and this is my tournament box. It's got my more expensive hooks in it, my tungsten weights and all of that type of stuff. And then I have a box identical to it, but this one is just lead, and it says Gamma hooks, my Gamakatsu hooks, just normal hooks and lead. I take a lot of people fishing with me, and I do a lot of fishing on a river here, and we lose a lot of, you get snagged up a lot. So I use this one a lot when I'm practicing, and I also use it even more when I take people out fishing with me in the boat. So I have kind of what I call my everyday fun fishing terminal box and my tournament terminal box. And then my last terminal box is back to the 32 or 3600 size, and it's for all my wacky rigging, drop shotting, Ned rigging, that type of stuff. So I do a lot of this, and I decided to have one terminal box with all that type of stuff in it. So you can see it's got my smaller 1/0 size hooks, lots of Ned rigs, shaky rigs, drop shot, just Aberdeen hooks for Nico rigging. I keep all my wacky rig rings and that type of stuff in here as well. So just a one-stop shop for kind of your lighter spinning rod type fishing. And then finally, a couple of boxes, new boxes that I'm trying this year. I'm going to try a couple of different things. You've probably seen this if you watch some of my other videos, but this is a Flambeau box. And what I like about this is it has a tray in the top, and it has plastics in it. So what I'm going to experiment with this year. I made this my jig and chatterbait box. So I've got my swim jigs in here, all my various jigs, chatterbaits and that type of stuff. And then in the top are all the different trailers that I use with it. So again, kind of the idea of a one-stop shop here in one box. So we'll see how that goes. It's a pretty big box, so it's bulky. So I'm probably consolidating those smaller boxes I talked about at the beginning of the video, probably 5 or 6 of those into this one box. And then finally, this box, it's a Flambeau box. I'm trying this one. What I'm gonna do with this, what my thought is, as you can see, you can put various plastics in here and it's got dividers. The idea of this is I'm gonna keep this, I'm gonna take this on practice days for tournaments and probably fun fishing. And my thought is that I can practice with this and practice all the different types and then narrow it down on tournament day. So I don't think I'll probably carry this on tournament day, but it'll be a way that I can take a good assortment of plastics out on practice day. Again, it's kind of bulky, but it's easy to carry. It's nice, you can put it this way so you can store it in your boat like this as well. It doesn't have to be this way. So 2 experimental boxes this year, and we'll see how they go. So guys, that gives you a quick overview of some of the different boxes that I use and techniques that I'm trying. And again, this is an evolving thing for me as far as how I organize my tackle. The one thing that I've done for years though is this label maker, and I think this is a great investment. I think it'd be worth your time to do that. So look, I've watched several videos and read a lot of articles over the years on the topic of organization, and this is kind of a culmination of all of that in one video. So I hope you've learned a thing or two or picked up on a couple of things you might want to try. Again, the label maker is the key regardless of what you're doing. It's going to make you a lot more efficient on the water. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot more good content coming out in the future. Thanks for watching.